on now. Braid.
All right, B&B Sports Show podcast. We are back, and now we have our very first guest on the show, Josh, who's a Dolphin Addicts.
Sportsman Farris.
What's going on, you guys?
What's going on, Josh? Thanks for
Not
coming on the
much.
show, man.
Thanks.
Hey, I'm glad to be on here. I mean, you guys are talking football. I love talking football with anybody, so I can do it for hours.
Damn right.
That sounds good, man. Thanks again. I guess we
Thanks
could
for
just
having
kick
me.
off, and we'll go with the AFC North, and we're gonna go with the Vegas odds, and we kind of go back and forth on our opinions of how we feel that they're actually going to match up with the odds, and kind of touch base a little bit of why we think that way.
Okay.
And we start off with the Baltimore Ravens, who is projected at 11.5 wins, and we'll go ahead and kick that off and hear your opinion on what you think Baltimore Ravens can do.
Oh, man. Can the Ravens repeat what they did last year? You know, they just had one hell of a draft. You know, I'm not going to be behind the bush. They look good in this draft. They got a young stud running back now to help Ingram out. I mean, they're still going to be the team to beat in the AFC North, regardless of what everybody thinks about Joe Burrow with Cincinnati. And, you know, Pittsburgh still has so many holes. I don't care what any Steelers fan says. And Cleveland's Cleveland. 11.5, I think, you know, I see more like a 10 spot for the Ravens because, you know, people are going to just finally start figuring out who Lamar Jackson is. And they still don't have that number one wide receiver yet. And that's what's killing them the most.
Well, I don't know, man, because you got to think about, too, they have Hollywood Brown. I mean, he's turning out to be a pretty decent receiver. He sure showed up last year for his rookie season.
I agree with that. But, yeah, I mean, you can't throw it to him all game. You need you need other receivers to throw around the ball.
Oh, I agree, 100%.
I mean, we saw what happened with Pittsburgh last year. He let Antonio Brown go to the Raiders, and then Juju Smith was either not catching the ball or he was injury prone. I mean, you had to have other receivers to throw it to other than just one guy because teams are going to figure out, okay, well, if it's just going to be Hollywood Brown, we could just double team him. Who's going to step up now?
Exactly.
Well, and they traded one of their tight ends, you know, to the Falcons. So I think that's going to hurt them. So I just don't see.
Well, that's another thing, though, too, Josh, is because, like, when they were double teaming Hollywood Brown, then that would just mean Lamar Jackson would just take off. And, you know, then there's another 30 yards run right there.
That's what I think. I think they're not going to get to 11.5 wins. And I think it's because that they're going to scheme against Lamar Jackson. He ain't gonna have that option that he had, the run pass option.
And if you look at Lamar Jackson in college, this is the same kind of offense he ran in college. But every year, when people started figuring out who Lamar Jackson was, he started to drop in his numbers. His numbers were not always accurate. So I think now in his third year, people are going to realize who Lamar Jackson really is. Yes, he will get him to wins, but will he get over 11? I just don't see it.
Yeah,
I'm sticking with 10 wins.
Yeah, he ain't going to get near the rushing yards. And
he will not be MVP this year. I could honestly tell you that, too. So
I'll give him the division win, considering the North is just kind of terrible around Baltimore, but
and I agree with that too. I agree with you on that. I say the AFC North is the Ravens still until another team steps up their game. I just don't think the Ravens have to worry about losing that division to anybody.
Oh yeah, and you know I'm going with probably around 10 to 11 wins tops with them too. They have too much firepower to lose more than, you know, or to not win that many games. only thing is, if they make Lamar Jackson play quarterback like the Tennessee Titans did against them in the playoffs, then they're going to definitely be in a world of hurt. So
exactly.
All right, then
But it's gonna be interesting to see Ingram and J.K. Dobbins run the ball, though. I can't wait to see that power punch go at it.
Son of a bitch, got them.
Definitely a good 2 punch. Maybe that helps alleviate the fact that they're going to scheme against Jackson now, and now they have Dobbins. They're just going to cycle in.
That makes sense. And what did you say it for them, Ben? For the Ravens, what was yours?
Oh, the wins?
Yeah.
I think I gave them 9 on our other video.
Yeah, that's right.
I think it was 9. I gave them 9 wins and a division win. And then the next team we got finishing with the second most wins. It's the Pittsburgh Steelers, projected at 9 wins.
You want me to go first again?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I think this is Mike Tomlinson's last year with the Steelers. Shock of the century, honestly. Pittsburgh coaches usually don't get fired. They usually just resign or, go out on their own terms. But Mike Tomlinson's had a couple of bad years the last couple of years. And honestly, I think this is his last year. And I don't see 9 wins. I honestly see 7-9 season.
Yeah.
They're still missing a lot of things. Big Ben's not getting any younger. They don't have really a solid backup quarterback. Juju Smith playing on his last year contract. He's going to be a free agent after this year. And, that defense will keep them in games, yeah. And I fucking hate Mika Fitzpatrick with a passion.
I figure you guys both do, huh?
But
you guys watch old Kyle Juszczyk from the Niners manhandle him?
Yeah, I laughed when that happened. Oh, I died.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, take that son of a bitch, you. But their defense will keep them in games. But overall, I just see 7 wins. And like I said, I think this is Mike Tomlinson's last season.
Yeah, and it's so weird too because Mike Tomlin, he put up with freaking Antonio Brown for 7 years, 6 years, or whatever it was.
Yep.
And once he left, he just became a nutcase. I mean, at least you could say that Mike Tomlin can keep people like that in check, and keep them from going crazy or whatever the way he was, but. I think Vontae Burfess or whatever the hell his name is. I think he's the main reason why. Well, the main reason why freaking Mr. Walking CTE Antonio Brown had so many injuries and so many problems with his head. But to stay attached at hand, I think that they're probably going to be a 6 to 7 win team, like you said, Josh.
Yeah, I agree with both of you, and I think. I don't know. I don't think Antonio Brown really had that much of a deal until this last year or the year before. I mean, when he was fighting with Big Ben, and then they had that fallout, and then he ended up off the team. But then that showed because he had that one good season out of Juju because of the double team on Antonio Brown. Now he got to see a little bit of taste of that double team, and
exactly
he didn't fare as well. So I mean, I don't think. I'm not going to knock Juju too bad, but I don't think he's just not on AB's level.
Exactly.
Which Connor's coming back because Connor didn't do as good as he did the year prior either.
I don't know how much more Connor could play, though. I'm worried about those injuries. I mean, he seems so fragile. I mean, the minute he touches the ball, it's like, is he going to get hurt? Is he going to get back up?
Yeah. And I agree with you. The defense will keep them in games, but not enough. They don't have enough offense to really kind of seal the deal on their wins. All right, so then we just did Pittsburgh Steelers, and then we're going to move on to the next team, who is the Cleveland Browns at 8.5 wins.
8.5. That sounds about right. New coach, another year with new weapons too. Austin Hooper, he stepped up the last year with Atlanta, and now that he got that 2 tight end set with Hopper and Jokier.
He also had Matt Ryan thrown to him though. There's some major difference.
Yeah, true, but you know what? I think Baker Mayfield is finally going to come into his own this year. He finally has somebody to protect his butt. So, and that defense at times had looked pretty solid last year. And I think they're about an 8-8 team. I'm not seeing playoffs once again, and everybody is upset about that because, I have always been told Cleveland has the best fans in the NFL. They stay loyal to their team, win, lose, or tie. No matter what, they're always right there. Mm-hmm. And I would love to one time see them win a Super Bowl because that city in Cleveland deserves it after all they've been through over the years. But
they got one with the Cavaliers, so they can keep on that one.
This is for you, Cleveland. This is for you. Okay,
yeah,
LeBron.
I do agree with you too. I think they're going to get 8 wins. Paper champs, really, like everybody's saying last year. Everybody had the hype on around them. Yeah, they do have a new coach. They have new GM. Maybe a better coach. I don't know how well Freddie Kitchens is. He obviously couldn't contain Myles Garrett from fucking smashing Rudolph's head in with the helmet.
That's a sad thing too. He doesn't only have to deal with him, but he also has to deal with OBJ.
What's weird? He wasn't as bad as he had been in New York, and you figure.
Well, true, but I mean, he was still running his mouth, regardless. I mean, not as bad as in New York, like you were saying. I agree with that, but dealing with a prima donna like OBJ, I mean, with a rookie coach, oh man, it smells like a danger zone waiting to happen.
And now you have Hooper, and you still have Chubb, and you got Kareem Hunt coming in for a full season too. You got all these tools around you. There's no excuse of why they should be as bad as they are. I mean, I'm not high up on Baker Mayfield. I don't think it's that great.
Yeah, I just think that Baker Mayfield's ego gets the best of him, and that's why. I mean, he puts himself in so many stupid situations. They could be on the goal line, and he's throwing a freaking interception. Like costing them games. Being overconfident or just too much ego, like that, just has a lot that affects his game. That's why, me personally, I don't see them winning more than 6 games this year, even with all that stacked roster, because you just can't win with all these prima donnas on one team. Because you're going to get OBJ and Jarvis Landry. If they don't get the ball,
you just had to bring up that asshole's name, damn you.
I know. But if they don't get the ball,
at least Ben didn't bring up his name, but you did. You fucking did.
I forgot about him.
I don't know. I was about to say, I love Ben. He didn't bring up Jarvis. And here comes Bryan. Oh, Jarvis, son of a bitch.
I gotta call it as I see it, man. Because the fact of the matter is, these two are both prima donnas. They both played on LSU together.
Yeah.
Like they're both ball hogs. So if you don't get at least both of them 5-6 reps a game or whatever, at least for a couple touchdowns, they're going to be crying about it. And I just think that's just a locker room cancer right there.
Well, here's a question for the both of you: if the Browns do not have a winning season this year, do you think one of them gets traded or gets cut?
Without a doubt. OBJ was already rumored to be traded to the Vikings this earlier this year.
There's been huge rumors of OBJ.
Yeah, I heard about that.
This would be OBJ's last season.
Between the two of them, I guess it's interesting.
Yeah.
We get shipped out.
But it's so weird because, they were best. I mean, they are best friends.
Mm-hmm.
You would think that they would try to do their best to stay on the same team if that's what their whole plan was from the get-go. And now it's like they don't really care if they're on the same team or not. So.
It's all about this, man. So how about that?
I think if the fact is maybe his quarterback situation is kind of throwing him.
Yeah, I think if Baker Mayfield comes, if he finally gets his head out of his ass this season and plays like he did for Oklahoma, then I think maybe they have a chance of winning 7 to 8 games. But other than that, I just think he gets in his own way too much. Like
If he don't come into his own about Game 7, old Case Keenum's going to come back and have a Cleveland miracle instead of Minneapolis.
Yeah. Well, he's just too busy making those dumbass commercials. So those State Farm commercials or whatever the hell they are.
Yeah. All right, so that was the Browns. We had pretty solid opinions about the Browns. Poor guys.
I'm sorry, and there's nothing against Brown fans. I got a lot of Brown fans that are my friends. It's just, man, something's got to give eventually. I mean, they're going on the same amount of quarterbacks that we've had over the years. I think they're a little bit more than us, though, since they.
Of course, yeah, more than us.
but still, like, something's got to give eventually.
Yeah. All right, so now we're going to move on to the new Cleveland Browns of the AFC North, the Cincinnati Bungles. And they are projected 5 wins.
I don't see 5. I see 4. At least 2 game improvement. He had a solid draft. But, they still don't know the status of A.J. Green. You don't know the status of Andy Dalton. This team is like a hurricane right now. They just don't know what they want to do. And honestly, I feel bad for Zach Taylor. He's a good offensive coach, but he's in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Oh, yeah.
And, Cleveland, like you said, Ben, they were the team that everybody laughed at. Well, now it's Cincinnati's turn, and Cincinnati's going to be laughed at for at least the next 3 or 4 years because this team still needs a lot of stuff. And I wouldn't be surprised if they're back in the top 5 in the draft next year.
Yeah.
So you got them at 4 wins then.
Yeah.
You and me are spot on. Like
I think we all had pretty close to the same.
Yeah, I think we all said 4. I just think because, Joe Burrow coming into the real man league, I mean, he's going to get a freaking rude awakening. He ain't going to come out there as cocky as he was in the national championship, smoking a stogie after the fucking game. He's never lost, like, since he's been starting. Like he said, I think he said back in high school, like he's always won. He's never lost wherever he played. Whenever he started, he never lost. So this is going to be
sound like another Mika Fitzpatrick. Oh, I never lost.
Like another Jamarcus Russell, in my opinion.
Oh God.
Yeah,
yeah.
Mika Fitzpatrick. Oh man, you had to mention him, didn't you? See,
you brought up Jarvis, so I had to bring up your favorite.
Yeah, but at least Jarvis but the difference between Mika Fitzpatrick and Jarvis Landry is Jarvis Landry wanted to play for the Miami Dolphins. We weren't going to pay him top dollar for a slot receiver. Sorry.
I know.
He wanted $20 million a year for being a fucking slot receiver? Are you shitting me?
He's still good though. I give him that. I think he did very
at the time we didn't have that kind of dough though, so we couldn't spend it.
Exactly.
True.
And Mika Fitzpatrick, he was just a crybaby baby mama fucking drama fucking person, whatever, and basically never lost. Playing for Alabama, and it is what it is.
And the sad thing is now, I just read that he's willing to play different positions for the Steelers, but he wouldn't do it for us.
Nope. But you can't call yourself the freaking Swiss Army knife of fucking players and not be willing to try to play a different position.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how Joe Burrow reacts to a losing season with Cincinnati.
We're way off on the other side. Different side. We're talking about the
Steelers. Yeah, you guys.
Wait a minute. I've never felt this before. What's
Ben's
going on?
Brings us back on topic. But yeah, and I agree too, Ben. Like you're great. You're gonna get AJ Green back this year if he's healthy.
Does he stay on the sideline? Like, does he want to still play? Because I felt like he was pulling out that injury thing a little too long. I think he just wanted out the door. Really?
Yeah, I think he did too.
I don't think he has a choice. Like I said before in our other podcast, that Mike Brown, the owner of the freaking the Bengals, once you get signed as a Bengal, you're on there until he decides he wants you gone. Like you don't have a choice. Like look at
they won't let anybody go.
Yeah, just like Detroit. Like who was the quarterback? Carson Palmer?
Yeah, Carson Palmer.
Like, he pretty much had to say, I'm retiring to get off that team.
Right.
They were not going to let him go. And he was telling Joe Burrow, whatever you do, don't fucking let him take you. Don't let him draft you. And then he backtracked everything he said before the draft started. So
yeah. He could pull a real Eli on that and got himself out of that scenario, probably.
Well, I mean,
that was the rumor that he could.
The rumor was too, like our Dolphins were talking possibly 3 first-round draft picks. This is all smoke screens. I don't know if this is real or not, but they were talking 3-round draft picks this year and our 2 first next year for Joe Burrow this year. And they passed it up. If that's true and they passed it up, they're the dumbest fucking run organization of all fucking time.
It wasn't a smoke screen. It was actually true facts.
It was true. He actually tried that.
The Miami is willing to give up 5 first-round picks just for that one player.
That is way too much to give up, and that is really fucking stupid.
I'm just glad Miami came to their senses and said, you know what, maybe this is a little too much.
God, they could have got a different other quarterback and then stocked up the rest of their team with that much capital in the draft. Why would you do that?
The Bengals could have been second in the division had they took all those draft picks.
Sounds to me like they need a new makeover in the front office.
Or just a new owner.
If the other one dies first.
That's crazy.
He trust me, like you just said, Brian, nobody leaves Cincinnati unless they retire or they die.
Yeah, which sucks, but
I mean, look how long they kept Marvin Lewis around.
That's true. Yeah,
God, how badly he was wanting out of there, how badly he was sucking.
Oh, yeah, he was there forever. Man.
Year after year after year of terrible seasons. But he did take them to the playoffs, just like wild card or whatever. So
yeah, and then he lost. I guess they assumed
that was just pretty much just only saving grace.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see how T. Higgins turns out. If AJ Green's still there, he might turn out pretty good because obviously AJ Green's gonna get the double triple coverage.
Exactly.
Well, then they got T. Higgins too, so yeah.
And then they got Speedy John Ross. If that guy could just catch the ball, it could be pretty lethal.
We'll see. But I still think 4 wins.
I agree.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, moving on. We've finally finished one division.
That's right.
And back to reality.
Awesome. I enjoyed talking football with my boys.
All right, so I guess we'll just move on to another division then, right, boys?
Mm-hmm.
Sounds good. AFC.
We're gonna go in with the old company.
Because I don't think we think anybody in the AFC North is going to make the wild card other than the Ravens winning the division. So yeah, you might as well go to another division.
Yep, I agree. So we're gonna move on. We're gonna go compass-wise, never eat Sagawidis. And we're going to go into your guys' division. You guys are probably chomping at the bit to get to this one. AFC East. And we'll start off with your guys' favorite team, I suppose. Both you guys probably hate them pretty much together the same amount. New England Patriots projected 9 wins.
He just called the Patriots our favorite team. My goodness. What did you get me stuck with, Brian?
He said our favorite team that they hate.
Oh, okay. I'm about to say,
I feel like you guys probably hate them the same, huh?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Oh no! It says no longer has time limit.
Yeah, that
What?
3-minute thing popped up on me. That's the first time it's ever popped up on us.
Ah,
Does that mean it's gonna stop?
It's still recording, apparently. It says it's still recording.
Well, we'll find out, I guess.
And even if it doesn't, we could always start another one and see because that's what we've been doing.
All right.
you want to take a chance to do another one, or you want to?
We'll just keep going
Okay.
till it kicks us off, I guess. Patriots,
So-
9 wins.
So the pansies, huh? Go ahead, Brian. I want to hear yours first.
Well, like I said in the before other one, you can't count out Bill Belichick. He is the New England Patriots. You can essentially put me back at QB for the New England Patriots, and I will win them 11 games. So, if Bill Belichick retired, then I would say definitely last place in the division. But with him still being there, I'm going to say close to 9 to 10 wins.
Wow. Wow.
But we'll get to that.
So I disagree.
Well, you have to understand though, Josh, they haven't lost more than 11, they've won 11 games back in 2008. That was their worst season since Brady got injured.
Yeah.
So, they've won at an average 12 to 13 games a season with Brady or not.
Okay, but you got to look at this now. Here we go. That team that won 11 games that year had a full team.
Yeah, I know. They had
This
undefeated.
This team is missing a lot of pieces. I mean, for Christ's sake, he drafted a kicker that there's no highlight film on. Well, like I said, I have to disagree, and I have to give the Patriots 7 wins. I really think this is the year where the Patriots are going to fall. And people are going to be like, hallelujah. Now they know how we all feel.
And I'm 100%. I'm 100% wishing that happens. I hope that does happen.
Yeah.
But every time that I doubt these sons of bitches, they're always in the fucking playoffs. No matter what.
Yeah.
It's just like I'm tired of denying them and then, have it backfire on me. This way, maybe I'm going to jinx them. Say, oh, they're going to win 11 games this year and they win fucking 2. I mean, who knows? I'm going to be happy either way if they're losing.
I project them 9 wins. I agree with Brian. I think it's a Belichick team. I really don't think a whole lot's changed since last season besides the big glare of old Tommy Brady being gone. I think they still have all the same people, Edelman, Nikhil Harry.
Well, you got to look at you don't have no true receivers. They're missing some of the key parts of their offensive line. Their defensive backfield is older now. They're missing the key linebacker. They're missing another tight end again. I mean, this team is not complete like it was before. I agree with you guys. Bill Belichick knows how to coach winning teams by cheating, I think. But I just don't see this team really making no noise. I mean, I don't think they'll be in last, but I think they're going to be at least in third place.
Hey, I'm all for it, man. If that happens, that's what happens. I'm all for it, man. I would love to see them finally fall off the fucking mountain. It's been too fucking long. 20 fucking years, bro.
Right.
Okay, so the next team that is on this list, projected with the same amount of wins, is the Buffalo Bills.
Wow. Only 9 wins? Wow. Buffalo is my pick to win the AFC East. I think it's their division to win now. They have a solid draft, this is their chance to take over the AFC East, and next year in 2021 they're gonna have to really work harder. But in 2020, I think this is the year that they make the push to be divisional champions, and I think it's honestly going to be 11 wins for them.
Yeah, that's what I said too in our previous podcast too. That I had them winning the division, 11 and a half wins, 12. I don't think they sweep us. I think that we'll beat them at least once because they've had our number for years, just like the Patriots has their number for many, many years too. So it's gonna be a good season to be an AFC East fan.
See,
maybe not so much a Jets fan though.
What I think our last video I projected them to win the division. They're gonna be fighting the Patriots for the win. I feel. I think I gave them a minimum of 10. I think a minimum of 10. They're probably gonna beat it. I think the pick to sound a little bit of a homer, I'm gonna say that AJ Epinesa is gonna come in and he's gonna make some noise.
Oh yeah.
And really, they had a solid.
As long as he doesn't make no noise against Miami, I'll be happy.
Well, he already has an upper hand on our offensive tackle, so
they had a solid offseason, I feel. I not so much at the Josh Norman signing.
Yeah,
he's that.
Was that supposed to be a low blow, Bryan?
Austin Jackson, man, is
that supposed to be a low blow?
Yeah, it kind of is.
Yeah.
They just couldn't handle that Iowa boys, man. I tell you.
All right.
I love you, bro.
Mm-hmm.
He's a USC fan, so.
You're a USC fan?
Yeah.
See, they just.
That's why I said that must have been a low blow because.
That combine was
the one thing I like about Austin Jackson is he has a good character. He's very fucking. I mean, he saved his sister's life for God's sakes. You know, I mean, he had an off game that night.
Well, it seems that every draft pick has an awesome story that they had that overcome.
Yeah, well, a lot of them had a lot of problems too, though. But
that's
it's just. I think it was just a bad night. You know, I think AJ Epinesa was going for, look at me, NFL prospects. You know,
exactly.
See, I don't think Josh Allen's. He's gonna get a little bit better this season too. And
I mean, you pick up Stephon Diggs. That's like a home run hitter right there.
Yep.
He's been looking for that for years, and now that he got him, I mean, wow.
See, I didn't even bring that up, but that's a very good point.
Yeah, but it's just Josh Allen doesn't have the consistency, like he doesn't have he has a strong arm, but he just doesn't have the consistency, like deep ball accuracy and everything. He makes a lot of
say Kirk Cousins.
No, Kirk Cousins. We'll get to him when we get to him. But like,
I'm up with Kirk Cousins.
It's just. I don't know. Allen's he makes a lot of dumb decisions. Either he's running head first into some other dude's fucking helmet, knocking himself out, or throwing the ball back to somebody that's not there. I mean, what the hell?
Yeah.
The dude single-handedly cost him the freaking playoff game against the freaking Texans. So
it's true, but I think he'll progress better. I'm not going to say he's going to have –
can't get any lower.
He's not going to take giant leaps by any means, but it's going to be enough to win a division.
Although the Bills must not have too much faith in him if they're drafting another fucking quarterback. So
right.
Jake Fromm, buddy. I told you, man. He's going to turn out good.
He ain't gonna be good. He'll be a career backup.
He's going to be a solid pocket passer.
Dude, if he's in the Bills,
he's hoping that he'll take over Jimmy G eventually.
His future is already fucked playing for the Bills, man. That's where quarterbacks go to die.
Or to lose 4 straight Super Bowls.
I didn't say it. Steven Rogers, if you're listening to this, I didn't say it.
That's why Buffalo Bills girls should not be expecting a ring from a man.
Exactly. All right, let's get to the best team in the world.
Yeah. The New York Jets, because they're next. 6.5.
I knew you were going to do that. That's why I didn't say nothing. I knew it. I'm already catching on.
Sorry, I didn't even hear you. My wife interrupted me. So
the Jets were next on the list at 6.5. So what do you guys think of that?
The Jets or the Dolphins?
The Jets. The Jets are at 6.5.
They have Adam Gase as their head coach.
Enough said.
That's all I have to say. They are not going to win 6.5 games with Adam Gase as their head coach.
Did somebody say tacos?
You have a quarterback. You have a quarterback who sees ghosts in the middle of the game. I mean, either he's seeing ghosts or he's making out with chicks that get mono. I mean seriously.
It's probably the mono that made him see ghosts.
Yeah. You lost Robbie Anderson, one of your best receivers. I just, you got
your best safety might be holding out.
Yeah, or getting in trouble with guns or whatever.
Yeah.
And then you got Le'Veon Bell that really doesn't give a rat's ass if he has a 5-yard rushing game or 10 yards. It doesn't matter. Like he's done it for a paycheck. So that team lacks so much leadership, and Adam Gase is a cancer. So I looked for him to be fired by week 6.
Ooh, wow.
I really think that they need a coaching change and front office change too. The GM. I agree. I've always said Adam Gase was way overhyped before he became the head coach of Miami. I knew it's like, this guy sucks. He's gonna suck. He turned out like crap. Like, who trades the number 1 guy running in the middle of the season just to prove a point? What kind of asshole does that? AJ was tearing it up, and then he's like, "Oh, you're out of here, buddy. Don't like what I like."
His name is Adam, my fuckface Gates.
Yeah. Well, and then the fact that he's like, "Oh, I'm going to punish you by sending you to the Eagles so you can go win a Super Bowl." Oh boy, I bet you that hurt his feelings.
And
Coach ever.
Like Josh brought up, year after year they have problems with Jamal Adams wanting to leave, so they can't keep him happy.
I'm giving the Jets 5 wins, but I do have to admit I do like the draft picks they got with the first-round pick and the second-round pick. I think, knowing that the Jets don't have the people in place to make them look good, eventually those 2 stars from left tackle to wide receiver will be pretty damn good. Those first 2 picks were really good picks by the Jets, but I think the Jets get 5 wins, and I really think this is Adam Gase's quick exit from the Jets.
Oh yeah, you don't make it along for very long in New York. Like they're the worst when it comes to like criticizing you from like a publicity type standpoint or whatever in the news. They eat you alive in New York. So
yeah,
I think he's going to probably win 5 games at the max. 4 games probably will probably be the realistic amount.
4 or 5 is what I said too. And yeah, Beckham was a good solid pickup. But like last season, of all the people they had, they're really kind of the offshoot of a little bit of the Browns. I mean, they had a lot of good players, and there was no excuse of why they couldn't perform better than they did.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know. I give them 4 or 5 wins too. They're the bottom of the division, the bottom of the barrel. And now we're going to move on to your guys' favorite team, Miami Dolphins, at 6 wins projection.
Wow.
Vegas
Freaking Las
does not
Vegas.
respect us at all, dude.
Nope.
Nobody does.
Hey, that's
Exactly.
what we had to deal with all last season. They kept dissing us until we made it all the way to the Super Bowl.
I'll let you go ahead and go, Josh.
Well, easy said. 16-0. Nah, just. I wish. Miami had a great free agency. A hell of a draft. Like I was telling somebody earlier, this was the best draft I've seen of the Dolphins since I became a fan.
Yep.
And, this team is only going to get better. Now that there are players that are going to say, hey, I want to be coached by Brian Flores. I want to go there. They're building something there. I mean, do I see Super Bowl this year? No, of course not. I'm being real. Do I see more than 6 wins? Of course I do. So I'm giving Miami no more than 8, maybe 9 wins this year. And that would be my first wild card team because I think Miami is going in the right path. And with that offensive line as stacked as it is now, oh, man, we're going to be pushing people forward to get that running game finally going. And, like I told Bryan on Saturday, I think it was, for some reason, if Miami is not playing for anything, the last 2 games, that's when you put into it. Get his feet wet. The hip still scares me. But, if we're not playing for nothing, then put Tua in and let him play the last 2 games. Just to see what we have for next year. Don't push him week 1 because you got a veteran quarterback in Ryan Fitzpatrick that's going to teach this young kid how to play the game. And we still got Josh Rosen. We got Josh Rosen cheap. He's still under his rookie contract. There's no reason to push Tua. I know he's our future. I know he was the number 5 pick, but why push somebody into the game when it's better that they learn the game, learn the players, learn your offensive line, and then come out in 2021 and look like the quarterback that we drafted, that we knew was playing in Alabama before the hip injury.
Exactly.
So 8, maybe 9. And for some reason, that would be my first wild card. And you know what? I'm thinking that the new rule for wild card is this year. So I would think Miami would probably grab that last wild card spot. So
that'd be good. I said pretty much similar to you. The way I looked at it is, Brian Flores towards the end of the season, he took a bunch of practice squad guys and won 5 games.
mm-hmm.
I mean, that's unheard of, for a lot of coaches in their first year. He got the team to buy into what he was coaching and the fact that he got these players to play for him, and the way that he wanted to play, and they were playing and they were having fun. You didn't see him, like, even when they were down, like, you didn't see him, like, just, like, slumped over, like, oh, we're going to lose, like, everyone was upbeat, everything was ready to go, so now that he's got weapons and he addressed the offensive line that we've been waiting for them to do for the last 20 fucking years since Dan Marino fucking retired.
Mm-hmm.
I look for them to be, and we got a lot of defensive help too. Like I hate Bill Belichick with a passion, but he's got that killer instinct like Bill Belichick had when he was first starting out and when he first came to the Patriots or whatever.
Yeah.
It all depends. If Tua can stay healthy and doesn't get injured and he plays like he did before he got hurt, 2021 is going to be our season. I'm looking maybe 8 to 9 wins, like you said, 8 and 8. We're definitely winning more than 6. We're not going to be dead last in the fucking division. That's for sure.
And like our saying goes, TNT, baby. Takes no talent. That's what Brian Flores has taught these guys And that's why players are going to want to come to Miami because Brian Flores is bringing out the best in these players. Even players that we never heard of were coming out of nowhere and doing their thing when they would have been third stringers or practice squad guys. And it's like every week you're like, who the hell is starting this week? Who the fuck is that? And they just go out there and do their thing and make a name for themselves.
Exactly.
What coach do you remember doing anything like that ever? Okay, Don Shirley used to do that shit. Where did he go? Miami. Brian Flores has a plan in the works. We saw what it did this free agency. It looked great. We saw what it did in the draft this past week. That looked great. And like you said, in 2021, if Tua can stay healthy and we get a little more work done in the draft and we have another solid draft like we did this last week, 2021 could be the year that Miami really fights for the AFC.
Exactly.
I'm going with the 6. Minimum of 6 wins for you guys. I think you guys.
Okay, how do we delete this guy now?
But I think I agree. You guys had a stellar offseason. You're heading in the right direction after this rebuild. I just kind of want to see how everybody comes together with the new additions. Great new additions, by the way. I'm not as high up on Tua as you guys possibly are. I don't know. I just think that he's one hit away from going out. But that doesn't take away the fact that you guys still have a great surrounding cast on offense and defense.
I'm just glad Miami finally took a chance. I mean, we didn't take a chance on Drew Brees many years ago, and look what happened. Brees became a All-Pro Super Bowl champion. I'm not saying that would have happened with Miami because at the time we still didn't have an offensive line. But now, little by little, we're getting the pieces together. And like I said, this is why I don't want to push Tua to play week 1. Let the offensive line gel with each other for a whole season. Let them know the playbook where when you put Tua in, these guys are going, here's our future right here. We know what we have to do. We have to protect him at all costs. We got to make sure we keep his butt clean. Our coach is going to chew our asses out.
Yeah, that definitely.
So that's why I would hold off on starting him. Let the veteran do his thing. Let third-year quarterback Josh Rosen come in if anything else fails. We don't need a win this year right away. This is only Brian Flores' second year. We don't have to show everything right away. The third year that's when you start showing everybody the real deal of who you are physically and mentally.
Exactly.
That rebuild, I'm all too fond of that with San Francisco, man.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what I went with 6. I mean, to let you guys gel. And I agree they should hold off on starting to get them all gel together. But with that being said, in 2021, I feel is you guys' year to win the AFC East. I mean, you're going to be up there in massive competition.
I definitely don't want to play Tua this year because I don't want Bosa to sack his ass. Since we play the 49ers this year, if we have a football season
coming through. But, yeah, I mean, we had to come in with Shanahan and Lynch. They came in. They did a whole rebuild. And, yeah, the first 2 years were just abysmal. And then our third year with them, Super Bowl. Like, I didn't even see that coming. I didn't even think the Niners were even going to win the division. I think at that time, I thought the Rams were going to win the division. And then look how that turned out.
Right. And who was it, Ben, that said that the 49ers are going to win the division last year? I can't remember.
Yeah. Okay. I know.
That was before the season even began.
I didn't want to toot the horn. I didn't want to. Everything gelled.
Never doubt me, motherfucker.
I really think that's how it's going to end up with you guys. I mean, you're just getting over the rebuild. You're heading in the right direction. the free agency was amazing. Your
Yeah.
draft really great. Minus, personally, for me, I don't think Tua is the pick that they should have went with, but
I'd rather have Tua than Justin Hubert. Justin Hubert reminds me of Ryan Leaf, and
Ryan Tannehill or Chad Henning 2.0.
oh God, even worse. I would have been fine with Jalen Hurts, but God knows how long it would have took to work him in. And I know Bryan didn't care for the pick, but I would have took Jordan Love, knowing that we had Ryan Fitzpatrick and we have Josh Rosen right there. But
he's a project though.
I know he's a project, but the year before he put up the numbers, he was lights out. This year, his numbers dropped really bad, but he had no receivers.
Yeah, his receivers.
He had no receivers to throw it to. And if you put him on our team with the team we have, with the tight ends, with the receivers we have, that would have been the Jordan Love from 2 years ago.
Yeah, the receivers left and a coaching change.
Exactly.
That could have been why he was making terrible, bad decisions on a lot of. And
I know Green Bay fans don't like it now, but in the long run, they're going to be happy with Jordan Love. I don't care what people say. Jordan Love is going to be shocked a lot of Packer fans when they finally get rid of Aaron Rodgers and put Jordan Love in there.
I think the Packers fans are just not ready to move on to the Aaron Rodgers era. I think
just like they weren't with Brett Favre.
Well, should we just do a 2-part episode each one and end it and then save it and then do another 2-part, or how do you guys want to do it?
Whatever you want to do, or we could just finish the division, the AFC one first side or whatever, and then we'll do the NFC North on the second one. Or NFC, I mean.
You want to finish AFC right now?
It's finished AFC means we only have 2 more divisions. I think we just pretty much talked about our Dolphins the whole time, so I think the next 2 divisions, the next 2 divisions will roll through pretty quick.
I don't know how
we're not biased. What are you talking about, Bryan? Come on now.
I hope this isn't like cutting out though. That's the only thing that I'm just worried about because that thing popped up. I don't know if it's actually. It says it's still recording, but
I see. It says recording also.
So I don't know much about Zoom. This is actually the first night we ever ran it.
Yeah, it's all practice trial run.
Fingers crossed.
It's working pretty good though.
But I guess if we don't get everything, if it doesn't save, we could always just come back and then redo it in sections with everybody. Hopefully the line's up. All right, so we just finished up the conclusion of the AFC East. And now we're going to move on to the AFC South. And heading up with the Indianapolis Colts, who are projected at 8.5 wins.
Wow. Really? Are these brand new stats from Vegas?
These are Vegas odds.
So these are brand new release. Wow.
Yep. Yesterday.
Wow. I'm sorry. I don't agree with that one freaking wow. I see the Colts winning 11 to at least 12 games this year.
Yeah.
This team, wow. I'm just in drop mode right now. I cannot believe Las Vegas says 8 wins. Did they not see what he drafted? Did they not see what he did in free agency? Holy fucking A. This is by far is the worst. I mean, I really like what the Colts did in free agency. I wonder if they're thinking 8 wins because of how they have Phil Rivers and how he always fucks up. But
our last little podcast thing, we talked about Philip Rivers. We addressed it. I mean, I'm saying Philip Rivers is going to be Philip Rivers is old. I think what we saw last season was due because he hated going to the LA Stadium. He hated traveling there, and not to mention the fact that their home crowd was outnumbered by the away team's crowd, and it was their game, not theirs. So
exactly,
demoralizing to everybody.
I honestly see 11 to 12 wins. They got their number one running back. They got somebody to help T.Y. Hilton. Their defense is getting better every year. Their offensive line is a beast. I mean, seriously.
They got a stud-ass defensive tackle from us and Forrest Buckner.
And that's what I'm saying. I mean, they gotten so much better. They're going to be the team that I see that could really give Kansas City a run for their money. So I see 11 or 12 wins. I don't give a damn what Las Vegas says.
Did I say 11 or 12 too? I think that's what I projected that too.
We both kind of agreed with around 11 wins. Just because, like you said, like Philip Rivers can come in though and play like Joe Flacco did in his last season. So I mean, nothing's guaranteed, but they also have a pretty decent backup in Jacoby Brissett.
They're gonna pump on that crowd noise and amp everybody up. Philip Rivers.
Yeah, they can just pump in the crowd noise like they did when Manning played for them or Andrew Luck or whatever.
So what is Las Vegas biased? They got the Raiders at 14-2 or what?
No, they got the Colts winning the division at 8 wins.
Yeah,
I see them winning the division, but not with 8 wins. That's just ridiculous.
They really kind of kept all of AFC South kind of clumped together pretty much with the same amount of wins almost.
Well,
I know we haven't talked about them yet. We'll get to them, but I think Houston and Tennessee are going to have slip-ups.
Oh yeah,
but we'll talk about that when we get there.
Yeah.
But wow,
we're getting there now.
Wow.
Let's go ahead, Ben.
I was saying, you got anything to add on the Colts that you want to put in?
Nope.
Yep. Why? Because I'm reading your mind, fucker?
No, you said everything that I wanted to say, pretty much.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. I'm reading your mind, motherfucker.
Pretty much. Picked it up. Taylor's solid pickup. Michael Pittman.
Man, when they got Michael Pittman, I was like, wow, really? Damn.
And Defoe's just a fucking monster. That guy is a stud.
Oh, yeah. I was surprised you guys traded him. I was just blown away by that.
I was hurt by it. I was really hurt because he was there with that rebuild. He's been there for a while. He does that.
My best friend's a diehard 49er fan just like you. He was living. He called me up and he's like, tell me this is not real. What the fuck is my team doing? And I'm like, it's real, and I don't know.
About it. Because really, I mean, they're like, well, he's got the cap and all that, but then they signed Armstead to not that much less than what Defoe was going to make.
Yeah.
But Armstead wasn't going to get the yield that Defoe was, obviously. So, I mean,
exactly.
I'm still hurt by it. It still sucks. Still bitter. But, I mean.
We're still on the AFC.
We got first round. All right, yeah.
No, really, Brian? I thought we were on the NFC.
I need to switch over to my team there. And so we got Tennessee Titans, who were projected to finish the same amount of wins as the Colts at 8.5.
Wow. You're going to see the Tannehill that the Dolphins saw. You know, if teams can finally learn how to stop Derrick Henry, which I think he will.
Yep.
I mean, they lost their key left tackle or right tackle, whatever he played. You know, that's going to hurt them. And people are going to finally say, okay, well, if we stop Derrick Henry, we don't have to worry about Tannehill because look what he did against Kansas City. Oh, wait. He didn't do nothing. That's right. Because you know why he didn't do nothing? He never did anything for that team right there, the Dolphins. So,
exactly.
a 5-6 wins tops for Tennessee this year.
And that's like what I said earlier too in our other when we did the AFC South earlier. Basically, they're going to stop. Oh, Josh disappeared. Oh, there he is.
All right. No, I'm right here. I was just getting something.
So like, so basically, you know, they're going to figure out a way to stop Derrick Henry, and all they have to do is make Ryan Tannehill play quarterback, and they will stop him every fucking time.
Exactly.
Ryan Tannehill, I mean, he's pretty decent, you know, deep throwing quarterback, you know, accuracy wise, but for the most part, he has no pocket awareness. He takes unnecessary sacks more than any quarterback I've ever seen in a long time. He throws up just, you know,
David Carr.
Well, other than Derek Carr, but yeah.
No, David Carr.
Oh,
Not
David
Derek
Carr. Not Derek, same way though. So yeah, I'm going about 6.5, 7 wins tops.
I don't remember what I put him on in the last video. I think I did say about 6 or 7 wins. Yeah, I agree with you guys. When they start scheming around Derrick Henry, who's a monster of a back, but if they shut him down, yeah, they're gonna have to make Tannehill throw more. I do like the defensive pickup of Christian Fulton.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what's gonna be a bitch is Derrick Henry doesn't sign a long contract with them, and then he has a shitty year for them. They're gonna go, okay, just like Melvin Gordon. Bye, Felicia.
Exactly.
And Derrick Henry, he can run the ball. He has the skills to do it. It's just now, you know, he's gonna be lonely without his star tackle that blocked for them all last year. So.
And then I think they lost Deion Lewis too.
Yeah, they did.
Picked up
You're right.
Wilson though in the draft, so I guess that's
but he got to come to his own before we could start calling him something special.
Yeah, I agree.
And then you said about 6 or 7 wins for them too, didn't you?
Yeah.
Ben?
Yeah. I do like AJ Brown though. I think he's a good receiver.
I like him too. He's good. I mean, the guy is lights out. But like I said earlier about you know, Hollywood. You know, you can't just show the AJ and expect him to do everything by himself. They don't have really anybody else to show it to. I mean, Walker is no longer their tight end, so
Yeah, that's true.
Who else are you going to get to throw it to? I mean, you got nobody's, and are they going to step up? I mean, and is Tannehill going to be able to get on the ball without being scared under pressure and getting sacked all the time, like you said, Bryan?
Exactly.
All right, now we'll move on to the next projected team to finish third. This team had a very, very abysmal offseason. Shocking abysmal. Houston Texans. They're projected at 8 wins.
You know, me personally, I'm very ecstatic that they gave up and then let go of DeAndre Hopkins, because that just keeps lowering the freaking wins column, and that slowly gets us closer to the first-round draft pick in next year's draft, which we actually own because the morons gave us a first round this year and next year for Kenny Butterfinger Stills and Laramie Tunsil. I mean, Laramie Tunsil was worth it, but they got a bad fucking deal with Kenny Stills.
Yeah, they did.
How many wins, Bryan?
I'm saying max 6.
I didn't remember what I said about that. I think I lowered it.
What's that? Houston's becoming the new Dolphins and they're tanking?
Why would they? That would be the dumbest thing ever if they were to tank, though.
Yeah.
Because they ain't getting shit. They're only doing is helping us.
Second dumbest thing. The first dumbest thing is trading DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah.
the first dumbest thing was hiring Bill O'Brien and making him GM of all fucking things.
they also messed up letting Clowney go.
Yeah.
That was a big time mistake.
Clowney just was too expensive for little production that he did.
True, but you know what, man? That guy was more healthier than J.J. Watt.
I agree, 100%. But it's just like whenever JJ went down, his numbers went down. So
yeah, I'm thinking 5 wins for
holy
Houston.
shit, sideways now. What the hell?
Woo! 5 wins for Houston.
5. Wow. Hey man, the lower the better for me. I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't remember what I even said. I gave him a low number 2. What did I say? 4 or 5?
I think you said 5, but I can't read for sure.
I picked up DJ. I like DJ. I hope DJ has a better year than he did last season.
Yeah, David Johnson, yeah.
That guy. And you got Kenny Stills, who they have. Watson only has.
You get entertained over the weirdest shit, dude.
Old brittle Will Fuller, who's the JJ of the offense, can't stay healthy.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, and you got to consider too, though. Once all these teams make all these cuts, a lot of good players, eventually good players, are going to get picked up from these teams. So I mean, nobody's really out of the woodworks when it comes to not having potential good players. But the way that Bill O'Brien's been running that team, there ain't no fucking way in hell they're going to get anybody don't want to come there.
I'm surprised they kept Watson.
They picked up Cooks. I mean, Cooks is a good player. But obviously, none of the pickups they have are receivers to replace Hopkins.
Oh,
Cooks.
Now, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
But
And he also picked up Cobb.
Oh yeah, they did. They picked up Cobb too.
But I was like Cooks. I'm like, does he mean Cobbs? And I was like, oh yeah. Now I know what Cooks he's talking about.
but Cobb's probably about 5 years past his prime.
Yeah, neither one of them combined are equal on Hopkins. But
hey, the only reason I brought up Cobbs because I thought Nikki might have been listening and how she misses him with the Packers.
No, she's downstairs. I'm up in my room.
Ah, you're in your man cave, huh?
They still have Carlos Hyde. He's still a great back.
No, he's a free agent.
He's a free agent, yeah.
They let him go?
Yep.
Man.
They let him and Lamar Miller go.
Yeah,
Carlos Hyde even got traded to Jacksonville last year.
Last year?
Yeah.
Carlos Hyde got traded to who?
Jacksonville.
Oh, that's right.
I thought that was the year after they drafted it. Oh, wait, yeah, maybe they did.
Yeah.
Where the hell have they been? Why am I so wrong about that?
He's too focused on the 49ers. He doesn't really focus on the other teams. Man. You might as well let me start hosting.
Yeah,
This is why I am the sportsman, Brian. Come on now.
Ben,
yeah.
Ben's doing a great job.
So,
well, that's the thing. Like once they leave your team, you're pretty much like, well, you're part of the enemy now, so I don't really care.
Right?
he's still on the Texans.
Huh?
Yeah, I just looked it up. He's still on there.
Well,
I read that the other day he was a free agent.
Because I think he left San Francisco, and then he went to
Cleveland,
and they released him right away, and he went to Jacksonville.
Cleveland traded him to Jacksonville, and then I thought
he was going to do great Jacksonville, but they didn't use him at all because Fournette was out, and they didn't even use Hyde at all. It's like, that's strange. They ended up using their third string.
And then he went to Houston, huh?
And then he went to Houston. He had 1,000 yards.
Oh, he almost had 1,000 yards for them. That's right.
Yeah.
So I thought they didn't bring him back. I thought they were going to let him walk.
Yeah, they haven't said. Well, it hasn't said anything. It still says Wikipedia is still a Texan.
Wikipedia.
But I they might because they picked up DJ, but they don't know who they have in DJ. Like, is it DJ rookie year DJ who blew it up, or?
I think he's a lost cause. I mean, we're not going to have the same DJ that we had when he was just like Christian McCaffrey, lighting it up. It just wouldn't go down.
Yeah, he's
Chris McCaffrey is a freak athlete.
Yeah.
The freaking Carolina Panthers struck gold with getting him.
Exactly.
But now he is the entire fucking team. So
that was gonna
right.
be badass. I was hoping the Niners would draft him. Never did. They ended up going to the Panthers.
I thought he was going to go to the 49ers too, but I also thought he was going to go to Denver to follow his daddy's footsteps.
Yep.
But didn't happen. Carolina wanted him, and he went to Carolina.
Yeah, great. They got a great pickup, and they paid the man finally.
Yeah.
Deserved.
Long overdue on that one.
Well, he's the only player left, so why wouldn't they pay him?
True.
Oh, come on. They still got Cam Newton, right?
Well, CTE's gone. I wonder where he's going to end up going.
Old trash Cam.
Peanut Man.
I know where Cam Newton's going to wind up. He's going to wind up trying to dive for football, saying, I'm not scared of the ball no more. Look, coach, I'm not afraid of the ball no more. I could die, coach. I could dive.
And now we move on to the next. This is just an abysmal team anyways. This really is. Jacksonville Jaguars projected at 4.5 wins.
Do you have a team still?
Not really.
Agree. Yeah, I'm going with about 3 to 4 wins tops. They're losing Leonard Fournette. They lost one of their Marquise Lee, their receiver, to the Patriots. So it's like, Minshew can only do so much.
And they're about to lose that great defensive end. I don't care what anybody says. Eventually, he's going to get traded.
DJ Chark, still pretty good, but yeah, they're retooled their defense. They're rebuilding.
Yeah.
Fournette.
I think they're going to be the team with the overall first pick in next year's draft.
Yeah. And then poor Trevor Lawrence.
Right.
They lost Bowie. They lost Ramsey the year before. Calais Campbell's out. Ngakwe wants out.
They do have that one guy that was really decent last year. I think last year he was a rookie, or the year before he was a rookie.
Oh, Josh Allen?
No.
Yeah. Josh Allen.
Was it Josh Allen?
He was a rookie last season, yeah.
You talking about their first-round pick last year?
I don't know if it was last year or the year before, but he was like in preseason, he was tearing it up.
Yeah, Josh Allen.
Yeah,
You're thinking
that
of
dude
Josh
is a
Allen.
beast.
He's still good.
Okay, you're right. Yeah, that's right. That sounds right now. That dude's a
I know why you're questioning it, because how there's Josh Allen with the Bills too. But
I knew that wasn't the. I knew that wasn't the one. This one.
One's white, one's black.
I think he's like number 51, isn't it? Isn't he number 51, I believe?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, that dude freaking.
I think they still have Miles Jack too.
Miles Jack's good too, but
he hasn't been the same since he had their playoff run, though. You don't hear his name as much as you did when he first came onto the screen.
And honestly, now that I look at it, I don't think they had that bad of a draft, really. CJ,
it was all right.
CJ,
I don't know why they drafted CJ Henderson when they could have got one of the big name wide receivers.
Yeah, that's true.
They could have traded down and maybe got Jordan Love themselves. I mean,
because they just tore apart that secondary. They're all gone.
Yeah,
that's it. Bouye and Ramsey being gone.
But I just don't think CJ Henderson is going to be the answer to that team. I mean, he got burned a lot last year with the Gators, and
Oh yeah.
I just don't see him being as good as Ramsey.
Oh yeah, no, I agree. He ain't gonna be as good as Ramsey.
And that team's about to become the freaking the London Jaguars here pretty soon.
That's why I said that they still have a team.
Jason, he's a pretty solid edge. I say. I think he's.
Yeah.
And honestly, not a whole lot of people know much about Laviska Shenault Jr. I've seen some of his tapes, some of the way he plays, and just he can do it. He's a hybrid kind of receiver. He can do it all. He can line up and block, be a tight end, whatever they need. He's pretty solid catcher. The only notch on him that they had really is because he was just kind of injured last season.
Yeah. How many wins you predicting?
I'll still say 4 though. I know I was pretty kind of high up bragging about their draft, but yeah, I'd still say 4.
Okay.
They have to work it out between the rookies and everybody.
Yeah.
Still like Minshew Mania though. I'm still behind that guy.
Yeah. I mean, and that's one thing about
Mr. Pornstar.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's one thing I like about doing these type of podcasts is because we can always go back and look at how fucking wrong we were on a lot of these because it's just guessing games. We're not no expert or anything like that.
Different ones, and I can't even remember the last thing I said. I know I'm about around the same amount of wins.
That's why you go back the last preseason game, look at what you said at this podcast, and then make another one saying, okay, now that the regular season is about to start, now we'll give you what we really think.
Exactly. So do you want to cut this off and then we'll do the NFC?
We still have the AFC West.
Yeah, West.
Oh, that's right. Sorry, I apologize.
Bryan's tired. He want to go mean.
No.
The Pepsi's not working for him tonight.
Very sorry, Simon and better. All right, AFC West. We have obviously the reigning Super Bowl champs projected to win the division again at 11.5 wins.
What team was that?
I don't want to say. Did I call them by their nickname that I call them? Or
no, you got to help me out. I don't know what team you're talking about.
every other team, every other people in the AFC West call them that. I'll just say Kansas City Chiefs.
There you go.
They're the one to call them.
Since he had to tell us that the Jets were our favorite team. They don't have a weakness yet. The 49ers kind of exposed to Patrick Mahomes. I was going to say Patrick Motherfucker or McLovin. But this is the team that's still to beat.
Mm-hmm.
I still think they're better than 11 wins. And until a real key injury happens, I think this team is a shoo-in, regardless how tough the AFC West thinks they're getting now, because some of them have gotten better. I still think Kansas City at least is a 13-3 team.
Wow, and you're not wrong. I mean, I'm saying 12 to 13 sounds about right. They only got better during the draft. I mean, signing that running back from LSU. I mean, he's essentially like a Mark Ingram style running back, or how you said earlier too, Ben, the running back that Andy Reid coached for the Eagles.
LaShawn McCoy?
He said he's better than Westbrook.
Oh, yeah, Brian Westbrook. Oh, yeah.
He's a little guy, but he's just so fucking fast.
Oh, yeah.
He had 1,000 yards rushing, 1,400 yards rushing last year.
Yeah.
I mean, unreal. The dude is going to be I mean, they just get faster and faster on that team. It's unreal. The amount of depth that it goes, or the amount of thinking and the the scouting and everything, all these players, it's just like they just know they have a niche of who they want on the team, and they just excel at it every freaking time that they just knock it out of the park, it seems like. Andy Reid's building himself a fucking another championship team.
See, and I agree. I agree with you guys. 12 to 13 wins. Like I said in our other podcast before, they kept the entire Super Bowl team pretty well intact. And then they picked up Clyde. I call him Clyde the Glad now because he's in a great situation to thrive. I mean, that's
for sure.
what any rookie wants to be in.
Went from national champions to fucking Super Bowl champions.
So you don't have to worry about being like the main guy as a rookie, for a team developing. That's a kind of crappy scenario to go through. But yeah, he's going to thrive with the Kansas City offense.
And you know what Kansas City's saying now, right? Kareem Hunt, who?
Yeah, just imagine. I bet you he's kicking himself every day for doing what he did.
Well, that's his own damn fault. Either that or he's having the girl that he did what he did part kick him. He's like, hey, baby, you get a free shot. Here, kick me. I don't know what I was thinking.
Found that girl again and kicked her again.
You're not going to be Super Bowl champion, bitch.
It's all your fault. Why couldn't I get away with it like Ray Rice did?
Yeah. Ray Rice didn't get away with nothing, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah, he did. I mean, he might have never got to play there down in the football, but he still got away with it.
True.
Hunt, now,
True.
he got to spend the 8 games, but Rice, he basically got away with it. Other than just losing his job for the rest of his life.
True. So who you got in the second division, Ben?
What we got next is Denver Broncos at 7.5.
See, I think that's a low ball number on that part. Because the Broncos got way fucking better in this offseason. With bringing in freaking the running back, freaking
Melvin Gordon.
Yeah, Melvin Gordon. You got Noah Fant coming off of his rookie season. And then you got, possibly one of the best fucking receivers in this last year's draft, and Jerry Jeudy. Drew Lock is coming on his own. Like, he didn't start last year because they had old man freaking dickhead from up above fucking coming down from the Ravens.
Gordon.
What? It's Joe Flacco, yeah.
Switch
and
They call him Switch Flacco.
So, Drew Lock was on injury reserve anyway, so he wasn't going to start right away anyway. But still, I see them being at least a 10 to 11 win team. I think they're going to be probably neck and neck with the Chiefs. They're going to probably win a game against the Chiefs. It's going to be an interesting season for them.
Yeah, I agree. I think they'll be the only team in the AFC West to beat the Chiefs this year, at least one time. I say 9-7. I think they will be a playoff team, but I think 9-7. That defense is still good. Hopefully, Von Miller's okay.
Oh,
damn virus got to him. I'm hoping he's okay. That offense has now got weapons that were Drew Lock, like you said, he's gonna have a field day. I mean,
100%.
This guy could be pushing numbers that we haven't seen in a long time next year if the Broncos use him right. So I'm thinking at least 9 wins and a good, strong playoff push.
And see, like Locke was kind of he was the quarterback that I was really hoping the Dolphins would have drafted last year.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people were like, oh, but Missouri players, they don't really transition well into the NFL. Well, he's slowly proving them wrong. I mean, we kind of drafted a sort of a bust out of Mizzou freaking 2 years ago for our defensive end or tackle or whatever. I'm having to bring for what his name is, but.
Who, Charles Harris?
Yeah, Charles Harris. Yeah, he just doesn't come across like a first rounder, should anyway. So.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I'm going to say 10. I think they had a fantastic offseason with the draft and what they did in free agency. You got that two-headed beast now, Philip Lindsay, and Melvin Gordon.
Wrong division, sucker.
To go on what Bryan was saying about Noah Fant, the guy's he's athletic as hell. I think you just had to get rid of the butterflies of the rookie season. I think he's going to be a great red zone target. He's going to excel this year. Yeah, they still have Von Miller, Bradley Chubb. They picked up H.A. Bowie, who's going to be a good replacement for their loss of Harris, who ended up in Los Angeles, I think.
Yeah, with the Chargers.
Yeah. But yeah, they picked up the guy I really was hoping the 49ers were going to pick up first, and Jerry Jeudy. I think that dude's a great route runner. He's got good hands. He can just get open, hit that ball. Cortland Sutton was starting to turn it on at the end of the year last year. Him and Drew Lock were finding rhythm, and I think they're just going to progress off of what they did last season and get that much better.
Yeah, I was really surprised you guys didn't get Jerry Jeudy. I was like, okay, I know what the Niners going to do, and nope.
Yeah, I was really hoping for that. Just didn't pan out that way, I think. All right, so we got over the Broncos, and now we're going to move down, not very much further down, with the Las Vegas Raiders, who's projected with the same amount of wins of 7.5 as the Broncos.
God. I think the Raiders have a lot of holes still, but when you have Gruden as your coach, you just can't turn it off. You can't say no, that this team's not going to fight. You know, Derek Carr, this is it. If he doesn't do something this year, he's gone. And I don't think Marcus Mariota is the answer. That's why there's only a one-year contract. They had the weapons for Derek Carr, but it just seems like Derek Carr is more over his head than anything else these days. I think this team's a 500 team, unfortunately. You know, I wish it was different because I like John Gruden. I really do. But I think this team's a 500 team, and I think it's going to be like 8 wins.
Yeah, well, I'm going a little bit lower than you. I think Derek Carr is a broken car. I see possibly by week 6, Marcus Mariota is going to take over the starting position of that team. He's going to definitely win the starting position. I don't see them winning more than 6 games this season. I just think, they got Jacobs, the running back. He's a stud, but once they stop him, Carr can't do much. Like, he's always either injured, like he always has back problems or whatever it may be. I just don't see them like transitioning to a new stadium, new crowd. Las Vegas is a hard city to get a lot of. Of course, Raider fans are always going to be diehard, and they're going to come in drones no matter what, or drones or whatever. But I just don't see them putting on a very good performance this season. Like I said, 6 wins tops.
I like the pickup of Henry Ruggs, though. I really like that pickup.
But they don't have nobody to throw to him.
Yeah,
that's where Marcus Mariota comes in, and then he's going to pull a Tannehill. And, possibly if Marcus Mariota comes in, I think he gives them the best shot at winning games. So, which is hard to understand, or for me to even say that, because I thought Marcus Mariota sucked ass coming out of the draft, from Oregon. Yeah. So Oregon quarterbacks don't last very long, in my opinion. But,
exactly.
I give the Raiders 6 as well. I think Derek Carr and Gruden butt heads too much. There's just too much tension between them. It's pretty known around the league. Everybody keeps saying that they're going to draft a quarterback, and they never did, or they're going to sign one in free agency. So it's pretty known that they're at the ends.
It blows me. It blows me away that John Gruden has never been able to draft a quarterback in the first round since he's been the Raider coach.
Well, you would think, though, too, when you have Mike Mayock, supposedly this freaking guru at doing
college
projections
level.
for
Yeah.
college, players. He does the most asinine, stupidest fucking draft picks I've ever seen a person do.
I think he had a terrible draft this year.
Oh, it was horrible.
Yeah.
Ruggs is probably about the only decent thing that come out of the draft for them.
Well, the thing that I think with Ruggs is, I could see him potentially having a high ceiling, but the thing about Ruggs is he was a wide receiver too in Alabama. Like, it's like the Juju situation when they had Antonio Brown. He looked stellar because the double team was on Antonio Brown. I feel that's probably the same way as Ruggs. I mean, that's remained to be seen. But, yeah, they only had Carr and not much of a connection there. That corner that they picked up was a huge reach in the first round.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah, that didn't make any sense.
Blew my mind when they went with that. Cleveland.
They could have gone in all kinds of different ways, and when they drafted him, I'm like, where in the hell were you thinking, and where in the hell are you going to put him at?
Especially when you had the top at least 5 other prospects that were above him still on the board. Nobody even took anyone there.
Right.
And all the safeties, like you could have went with secondary, could have went anywhere. But
right.
And I don't know if you heard too, like, because I told Ben on our last podcast that possibly John Gruden is trying to get Antonio Brown to come back to be a Raider again.
Oh my God, that would be a mistake.
It won't happen though. I don't think.
Isn't that nuts?
That's crazy. Gruden needs to learn his lesson after the first time.
I think the free agency went okay. I think they did pretty decent on their linebackers, and I think I'll say the same about the Raiders as we did about the Steelers. I think that the defense will keep them in games. If that rookie corner, was a corner or safety, I can't remember his name. He was a stud. If he comes back the way he was, then they're going to have a pretty solid defense. Like, Farrell will turn out good. And the other guy that I had on that line, I can't remember his name either, on the defensive.
Well, and also, you got to think, too, they're going to have more of an advantage this season than they did last season. At least they're not playing on a fucking baseball field.
Another low blow, huh, Bryan?
Sorry, I forgot. Hey, but at least now you guys got a football. Now you don't have to have a football field on your fucking baseball field anymore.
But does it end up for the Raiders as it did for the Chargers with the move? They moved to L.A., and it just fucking went sideways real quick.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's going to be the same for the Raiders. Granted, they weren't like – they're probably will remain the same, but I don't think it'll help. But, yeah, I give him 6. Josh Jacobs is a great running back, but I don't have much faith in Carr, and he doesn't really have much weapons around.
One more team.
And the final team, we'll look up what their total wins is, and it's the same. The Los Angeles Chargers at 7.5. So they got Broncos, Raiders, and Chargers 7.5.
They got what? 7 and 9?
No, 7.5 wins between the Broncos, the Raiders, and Chargers. 3-way tie.
Wow.
Jesus Christ. You give your pick first, Josh.
You don't know what Charger team you're going to be getting. I mean, we don't know if they're going to start Justin Herbert right away or if they're going to go with Tyrod Taylor. This team, I don't care. I still think they have a lot of mess on their team. Their defense will keep them in games because they have a solid defense. their offensive line, I think, needs the most help right now. And if you put Justin Herbert in with that offensive line, I think you're going to damage the kid before he could even take a breath. I don't see more than maybe 6, maybe 5 wins because this team has other needs, and plus, Eccles Jackson, I think his name is, a new running back that took over for Melvin Gordon. I mean, he's been there the last couple of years.
Austin Eckler.
Yeah, I don't think he's a full-time starter. I think he's better as a backup. And when you don't have that run and pound game, it's going to hurt you. And that's why I just don't think the Chargers are going to be a team worth screaming and hollering for when they got other needs now. Yeah, they got their future quarterback, but you have other things that you need to do. You have receivers, yes, but you don't have a running back. You don't really have an offensive line. You have a pretty solid defense, but I just don't see all the pieces in with San Diego or the Los Angeles Chargers yet. So,
but I think, yeah, it just depends on who comes out, what swinging, and will affect the wins. I think what did I do? 6 wins last 2, Bryan, or 5? Something.
Yeah, you said 6, I believe.
Yeah, Tyler, Tabor, Abear, Herbert, whatever you want to say. Depends on who turns out. I mean, they still have. I think they have a pretty good surrounding cast. I think Eckler's a good back. He's a double threat kind of guy, mostly pass catching running back. They still have Keenan Allen. He's a great receiver.
When he's healthy.
yeah.
Their defense even got better. They still have Bosa. They still have Ingram. Derwin James. Desmond King. And now they have Harris from Denver. I mean, they stacked up that defense pretty good. But, yeah, I just think, I mean, it's all about the quarterback now. All about the quarterback and the state of your franchise in your home. Are you going to be outnumbered again this year?
Oh, for sure they will be.
Because that's got to be demoralizing.
Well, and like Josh made a good case for the fact that they don't have a very good offensive line. So Eckler is not going to get the running holes that he would last season when they had a fairly okay offensive line. And like you said too, like it really depends on if they're going to have Tyrod Taylor starting or Justin Herbert. If they start Tyrod Taylor, I'd say maybe 5 games into the season, then they're going to probably bring in the rookie, and he's going to stink it up because they're going to put too much pressure on him, and especially when you're at your home game and you got the opposing team's fucking fans that are louder than fuck on offense, and you can't hear the play call, and you're going to be out there like, what do we do? And fucking delay a game.
I don't get it. I don't get it. Why are they booing me? I thought we were the home team.
So it's a no-win situation. If they would have stayed in San Diego, I think they would be a lot better off when it comes to the opposing teams. But I'm just saying, like, Chargers are a lost cause. It's going to be between the Chargers and the Jaguars that's going for that number 1 draft pick next year.
I'm not going to go that far. But I'm going to say that just like we said about the Raiders and just like I said about the Steelers, the defense is going to keep them in the games. They have great defense.
But when your defense is on the field for 90% of the game, just like look at the Dolphins, they were on the field 90% of the game the last 2 years.
That's why I gave them 6 wins. I'm not giving them any more. That defense didn't take them to the playoffs by any means because they're going to be out on the field a lot and tired. But yeah,
I give them 4 to 5 wins max.
Okay.
All right, well, guys, that concludes the AFC.
2 hours later, we're done.
London Thanks for tuning in, guys. Thanks for joining us. I'll just end this recording now, and we'll see you guys later.
Hopefully the recording, hopefully it worked, and we can do the next one here in a second.
Show podcast.
All right.
Peace.
Peace.
Later.